And welcome back to part 23 of What If Mikoto Adopted Naruto. So, a couple things just to get out of the way real quick. I don't think this is my longest what if, but it's probably going to end up being my longest what if. Someone actually pointed that out, just a fun fact. I'm like, you might be right. B, someone asked, will I start a new what if? Yes, we are getting to the evening, the twilight hours of this, the golden years, if you will, of this particular what if. We probably only got maybe 2, 3 at best videos to do after this, and then this what if will be wrapped up. So yes, very soon I will be starting up a new what if. It will not be Naruto related. It's about time we go into something else for a more long-term what if. The one problem when I have what ifs that are this long, because I only do 2 continuing parallel what ifs each week. I have 2 different what ifs I do each week, except during the week of what if, is that when they get long, they tend to they do tend to drag on a bit. So they do take up some room. But yes, we're almost done with this one. So I just figured I'd bring that up. One last thing real quick. I don't know which video it was. It might have been the last one or something like that. But I saw a comment posted by someone who was bringing up when ninjas start the academy, how long the academy goes for, and when ninja basically started. And the problem is I have so many different conflicting things that I feel like I'll probably have to kind of just headcanon that slightly ultimately. Not that I don't trust every person who gives me information. The problem is that a lot of people are giving me different information. So at minimum, one of you is wrong. But that also means that possibly one of you is right. Either way, we're already 2 minutes in. Let's get into this. So last time on Naruto, what if Mikoto Uchiha adopted Naruto? Naruto and Sasuke had a parting farewell with their dear elder brother. But just as they were about to seal up Itachi and head back home, an unfortunate guest appeared. And Toby, or Obito, as we know him. And they're looking at Obito, and Obito's looking at them and saying, this has not gone the way I'd hoped. Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha. I had been hoping that I was hoping you'd be too tired to deal with Itachi, and that we could have a little chat. Naruto, how did you manage to get past Kisame? And Naruto does brag a little bit, saying that, yeah, that sword should have been a bit more careful what he eats. It's like, I see. Either way, you will both be coming with me now. And Naruto and Sasuke do get into a fighting stance. But they both know that they can't really take this guy on in their condition. Sasuke is basically where he's at in the original, minus that he doesn't have the curse seal. Naruto is not much better off. He can go into Sage mode if he stands still enough, or if he's able to gather some energy, which would definitely help. And he can access the Fox Chakra if he has to. But he's ultimately in not much better shape than Sasuke's in. It's like, are you sure you don't want to check on your? And Naruto's just trying to, stall him for a moment to get some time to think as Obito's approaching. Truth be told, I prefer not to fight you, but you're in no position to defend yourselves right now, are you, boys? Are you sure you don't want to go and help your teammate? After all, with Kakashi Sensei Sakura back there, I'm sure he's going to be a fine prisoner and spill all kinds of information. No, I wouldn't. And then that does cause Toby, but it causes Obito to stop briefly. But he kind of gets more like quick. Like, I have no worries about Kisame's integrity. He'll die before he tells you anything. But he does pass still. He is a valuable asset. It would be a shame to lose him. To which Zetsu actually pops up and saying, unfortunately, Samahara is no use to us anymore. He's no use to us anymore. Without Samahara gone, as powerful as he is, he will never be at full potential. What do you mean Samahara's gone? And he briefly explains what happens. Then he realizes nature chakra. That's impressive for someone as young as you to be a sage, Naruto. Just like your sensei, no doubt. The games are over. You 3 will be coming with me. 3 is like, of course, you and Itachi's body. And he finally goes towards them, hand outstretched, like, you're mine, nine tails, a QB container. And then Naruto basically does a Hail Mary, just thinking, oh God, I hope this works. No, and he just grabs Sasuke, and Sasuke just, at this point, just like, he's just like, oh, okay, Naruto's gonna do something, just go with it. And he just reverse summoning jutsu, and poof, and pops back, and just, and Obito just is grabbing it. He used a summoning jutsu as an escape method, and he thinks, no, reverse summoning. Clever indeed. Oh, and then Zetsu's like, they got away, and those other two shinobi will probably be taking Kasami back to the village at this point. What should we do? It's like, it's been quite an irritating day. We'll go. I'll instruct Pein on what to do next. If the fox will not come willingly, he'll be taken. Pein, Nagato will see to that. But until then, we must focus on the task at hand. And they go to Itachi's body and prepare Itachi's body. Remember to save the eyes. And Zetsu's looking it over, and he's like, Obito, because they're alone at this point. Obito's like, what? Thought I told you not to tell me that. We're by ourselves. There's a slight problem here. What do you mean problem? Yeah, you might want to take a look. And he's looking at it, and he's saying the bloody tears in the eyes are closed. He's like, I don't see anything wrong with this. Wrong here. So just do your job. And look closer. And remember, he's got the Sharingan. He can see chakra to an extent. And now he's focusing, and then he just looks down and kind of it's one of those, he gives one of those, oh, it's been one of those days last. You really are resourceful, Naruto. Sasuke. Seeing that Itachi's eyes are gone, Sasuke managed to pluck him right out there before he got away. Meanwhile, back in Miyabuku, one of the two pronunciations, Naruto and Sasuke basically just land. Just, oh God, what the hell did you do? Well, it was the way me and Jiraiya Pervy Sage got there here in the first place. This is the land of the toads. Fortunately, you kind of either need to travel for a long time and know its location, or you gotta have already a contract and reverse summon. Figured learning the reverse summon would be a good way to escape a tricky scenario someday, but I never actually tried it till now. Oh, that sucks. Well, we weren't able to escape when Itachi's body, but we didn't leave empty-handed. He has a scroll where the eyes are. It's like, sweet. We'll get him back to the village and go from there. But first, we need to recover. Send a message to the village, let them know we're okay. Make sure Sakura and Kakashi says they know that, and they walk over. They see Shima and Fuzaku. Oh, damn it. Fusaku? Is it Fusaku? I think it's Fusaku. Not Fujaku. Fusaku? I always forget the name. Fusaku. Is it Fusaku? Nard? One second. Yeah, okay. Fukasaku. That was it. Fukasaku. I was so damn close on that one because I know it's like Fugaku for Sasuke's dad. Fugasaku, that's the part I was getting. They see Fugasaku there and Shima and all that, and they're talking over what they need to do. Because remember, Fugasaku, I'm pretty sure didn't go back to Konoha. He went back to Miyabuku when Jiraiya sent him off, and then he went to Konoha. He was like, "Hey, old man Fugasaku, Naruto." Naruto, my boy, what are you doing here? And he explains what happens. Like, that was quite a tricky maneuver. Yeah, what's with the glum look? What's going on here? And they're just kind of, oh man, Fugasu, what's going on? And what's wrong? You might need to sit down for this, boy. Meanwhile, you had that whole scenario where Obito basically tells Pein to go get the Nine Tails, and that happens. And cut back now to Naruto just in shock about the death of Jiraiya. Nothing, unfortunately, changed the fate of Jiraiya. Although he probably, theoretically, if they had worked out a reverse summonings, actually no, I think they said that couldn't have worked in this case. They just didn't have the time to do it because Jiraiya got messed up at the end. They're like, Jiraiya didn't just lose an arm. He got impaled multiple times. His throat was basically taken out. Jiraiya was messed up. But you know what? Jiraiya went out like a badass, and you know what? That is one of the saddest deaths in all Naruto, hands down. But Jiraiya was always a badass character, great character, and he went out like a great character, man. Um, anyway, I digress. So it's amazing that Orochimaru and Tsunade still managed to live on. And so they, should note that the death of Jiraiya doesn't hit Naruto anywhere near as hard as it did here in the original, because to Naruto, Jiraiya was like a father figure, his godfather, wouldn't you know? If he was like a father figure to Naruto. That's why it hit him. It was a parental figure that Naruto had in his life for a change when he didn't initially have him. And that hit Naruto extremely hard in the original. This still hits Naruto hard. It's just more the loss of like a sensei and a good teacher and a good friend. Even though he may have teased Jiraiya, he still clearly saw Jiraiya as a good friend. So he goes off to mourn. They get summoned back to the village, and Naruto does go back to mourn. Goes to mourn in his own way. It's not as bad as initial, but he needs some time to himself. The way it is, and Mikoto comes in there, Kakashi and Sakura there, gives their sons a hug, and she sees what's wrong with Naruto, and she asks what happened, and they explain what happened to Mikoto, and Mikoto is just as shocked to hear that Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, died. He died in combat, a teacher of Naruto, and Naruto says, "I'll be fine, Mom. I just need to be on my own." And he walks off. Meanwhile, Sasuke has a conversation with his mom and later on with Tsunade about coming to seeing Itachi one last time. What Itachi said to him, the fact that he imparted his eyes onto him, it was a lot. But ultimately, he knew that his brother loved him, his mother, and his brother. And ultimately, he loved his family, but he did what was best for his home and the people within it. And, he was proud to call Itachi his brother. Meanwhile, after that, they also have to ask the questions like, he wanted me to have his eyes, Mom. And the question here is, does Sasuke's Mangekyo, depending on your pronunciation, does that still activate? For the sake of convenient storytelling, I will say yes. Because, and honestly, think about it this way. Actually, no, they still didn't have his eyes transplanted regardless. He still lost his brother. The pain of losing his older brother is still there. Someone he still cared very much for. It's still there. I just don't know if the jolt of the whole scenario is there, per se. Still, ultimately, yes, I do think he activated. He just hasn't used it yet or anything along those lines. So eventually they do talk to Tsunade about the eye transplant, and she agrees to it, and then he has to spend. Again, it's never actually detailed how much time he spent recovering. It was a little while. Arguably, because we know there is a day and night passage of time within the Shinobi War. He's probably, I'd have to guess, at least a week. That's how much. Probably he spent about a week recovering. So. And would you know, that's about the same time that Pein was. It took Pein to get there, if I'm not mistaken. So Naruto is, doing his thing, kind of just thinking, meditating, reflecting. All of a sudden, a toad pops up. It's like, oh, and I'm not gonna name the toad. Gamasuru. I'm making a random name. It's like, hey Naruto. I was like, no, Gamasuru. What are you doing here? Your girlfriend sent you a little letter. I was like, Tamari. And, this is something he kind of needs, because he hasn't seen Tamari since the whole mission mission to rescue Gaara. He hasn't seen her since then, plus the whole I love you thing and stuff like that. And right now it'd be nice to hear that. Say, no problem. And then he's looking at Naruto with a look on his face like, I know what you want. He pulls out a scroll, brings out a candy bar. Thanks, guys. No problem, man. And then, pulls it out and just reads her letter. And it's probably nothing like seriously like, oh my God, this happened. It's like, hi, how are you doing? I miss you. This has happened, so forth and so on. And he smiles and kind of writes a note just saying what happened, how he's feeling, but how he's glad that she's in his life. and when this is all over, he can't wait. He can't wait to see her again. He feels like they need to see each other, and just to have those moments together. Life is short, kind of thing. Um, so basically, he sends that back and sends it to her. But ultimately, he finally gets out of his funk and decides, I need to get stronger. The guy who killed Jiraiya, he's out there. He's possibly the leader of Akatsuki. I need to be ready for this guy. So he goes back to Miyabuku. Again, it's Miyabuku, Shabuku, Shapupi, Dabupu, Potato, Tomato, whatever. Tomato, potato. Anyway, to continue with Sage Train. Now, Naruto at this point, as we've seen, already has Sage Mode down. He has it down. He's got it down pretty much like how he had it in the Pain arc. Like, he needs the clones at the moment to get a Sage Chakra after he's run out. But remember later on in the war, where he was actually able, as far as I could tell, he was actually able to do it almost instantaneously. Like, just, boop, okay, I'm good. Like, that's how quickly that's how much he actually mastered Sage Mode, ultimately. So I think with the time he has to train, he gets better at Sage Mode, his Frog Kata style, obviously, and further emphasizes the Water Rasengan and the technique he used against Itachi, the collaboration technique. He only used the Water Rasengan and the Rasen Shuriken with Tornado Fist. Like, that's still a lot. That's why it tired him out so much. But he hasn't done the water equivalent of the Rasen Shuriken yet. Now remember, the Water Rasengan, as we've kind of determined here, it's basically still around Rasengan, but it has basically a whirlpool type effect going on here. When he fires it, it has basically kind of like an inverse effect to the Tornado Fist, where it's basically a whirlpool being jettisoned out of his hand with the Rasengan, and then it sucks you back in and explodes. So basically, the Rasen whirlpool in this case would basically just be a much larger version of that. Which then, what happens when you combine that with a Rasen Shuriken? Which would be very difficult to do because you can't just combine two elements unless you have a Kekkei Genkai. Like, so water and wind make ice. It's not like it's going to turn into ice. But remember, collaboration jutsus are a thing. So the question is, will he be able to do that? Spoilers when we get to the Pain fight. Yeah, he does that. And obviously there's the Tornado Fist as well, which he can now use in conjunction at this point with his water, Rasen whirlpool water. It's basically, yeah, you can use in conjunction with that, making kind of like a storm effect. Anyway, so meanwhile, fast forward a bit to the invasion of Pain. In fact, honestly, we'll probably get through the entire battle with Pain in this particular video, which really will and saying that out loud now makes me realize, yeah, we probably only got maybe 2 more videos left for this particular series, and then we'll be done. Which next week's the week of the what if, so stay tuned. Anyway, so the Pain's invasion happens. They left the frog there, obviously, or the toad there, obviously, to inform Naruto. Most of the stuff that goes on in that goes on. Granted, Mikoto can still help. I doubt she's smart. She probably is smart enough to know she can't fight any of the Pains, really. She's a retired ninja, and in her early 40s, she's just not. Here's the thing: early 40s doesn't seem like a very old age for anyone. Like, they even keep calling Kakashi old man, and Kakashi at this, and like Boruto, I think, is in his. I could actually look that up real quick. He's in his 40s, definitely. There we go. Kakashi. Kakashi. How old was Kakashi in Boruto? So Boruto, if I'm not mistaken, takes place roughly speaking in yeah, they don't give it. I can't find an age for him in Boruto, but he was 31, around 31 by the end of the original series, if we factor in the fact that Boruto is roughly speaking 12, 13 years old himself, not also factoring in the few years between the end of the series, Naruto, the last movie, you're looking at Kakashi being somewhere in his mid to actually late 40s. So he's not a young guy, but let's be clear, Orochimaru's 50, Tsunade's 50-ish, actually upper 50s, and at that point now like 60 by the time the end of the series happens, and Boruto happens. Jiraiya was in his 50s, and they were still considered among the strongest ninja of their time. So what constitutes old age in this case? Like, again, if you've seen Kurenai, the way they depict her, it's like, wait, there's no way Kurenai should be that, like, just, I get she's retired, but wow, like, they really just did terrible things to that character. At least in terms of, like, the physicality aspect of her ninja abilities. In theory, she should still be able to defend herself. Like, Mikoto, I think, would be someone who wouldn't, like, let her physicality go. She might look older. She might look middle-aged, but, like, still a attractive woman. There are plenty of middle-aged women who are very attractive and in shape and could kick your ass. So there you go for that. But still, I don't think she's she's involving more with, like, the evacuation of citizens more than she is, because she realizes that these are her opponents she can't take on. She just realizes that. Kakashi sacrifices himself, obviously, against the Deva and Azura path, and he manages to actually take out the Azura path. They did manage to beat the Azura path. Azura path just got resurrected. Ultimately, Naruto comes back. He's got Bunta there. The question is Sasuke able to join the fight? Given the time frame we have here, I will say yes, Sasuke joins the fight. Not going to say when, per se. Just he's able to join the fight. It's just that he needs to get out of the hospital is what he needs to do. So Naruto comes in. The Rasengan's the Azura path like he did in the original. A lot of what goes on in this fight goes on the same, minus the fact that, or plus the fact that Naruto's control over Sage Mode, and the fact that he can actually stay in there longer, is a thing. Because that's the thing, he was actually able to lengthen his time in Sage Mode. Also, let's not forget, he also has a couple of techniques under his belt that he didn't initially. So when he summons the animals, Naruto, for instance, does the wind style Sage Mode. I think I renamed it just the cutting wind stream. Turns out it's basically toads using their tongue to cut through something. But I just did like the cutting wind stream. Basically cuts through some of the summons. Then it basically gets to Tornado Fist. It's already broken the Preta Path's neck at this point. Tornado Fists a little bit, throwing them off guard. Then he basically decides, oh no, I've had it with you. I've had it with every single one of you. If I remember correctly, the number of paths at that point that were left were the animal, the human, the Naraka, and the Deva path. And he shredded the human path with the Rasen Shuriken. Basically, he gets the Rasen Shuriken. He gets the two clones on both sides, Rasen Shuriken and Water Rasen. Or Rasen Whirlpool, if you will. But then he basically, as they're forming, he starts to combine them together. And the blades of the tornado, or the blades of the Shuriken, with the whirlpool of in their other Rasengan, merged and create this basically he's made a condensed hurricane, and basically the palm of his hands, and he's barely holding on to it. Like, he's got to hold it like this because he can't hold it because the blades are just going to cut right into him. No, he's got to hold it in a way where he can. So he's basically holding it outwards, just. But using a Sage Mode, he's able to let go and basically hold it, and then just tosses it right at them, and all of them are looking like, oh crap, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. Unfortunately, it's far more aggressive and far more brutal than the Rasen Shuriken is, which then obliterates both the animal and the human path, and even manages to injure the Deva and the Naraka path slightly. Unfortunately, the Preta path gets resurrected as Naruto's Sage Mode does finally run out, and they basically Dave is trying to take him on. He's able to eventually get back into Sage Mode like he did again, but then the Preta path comes, and starts absorbing his chakra and turns into statue as well. He tries again to take the David path down, but unfortunately gets the chakra rods in him. He also knocked out the Naraka path. So now Pein's just going on a monologue about about pain and all that stuff. Pain is what And then all of a sudden, he just hears someone's like, it sounds like chirping birds. And all of a sudden, he's able to just barely get out of the way. Shinra Tensei, boom, Chidori Senbon. If Chidori Current was the one that's basically like an electrical field almost like the Emperor's hands. Chidori Senbon was basically like the spear. And basically just, it comes in because it's 5-second delay, comes in, it does like manage to actually stab Pain in the shoulder. Just, the pats of themselves can't feel pain, but he still grunts like, and there's Sasuke with his eternal Mangekyo, flat out just there and just full on power and burning. And it's like, let's see you escape from this Amaterasu. And then just Amaterasu takes effect and just he starts to burn, and he's able to get it off with Shinra Tensei, only for Sasuke to again use another fire style, just and force him back. Meanwhile, he's getting the rods out of Naruto and just like, "Are you okay there? You okay, bro?" It's like, worry about yourself, man. Great, nice eyes, by yeah, thanks. I can do a lot of things, including this. And then he creates Susanoo and Susanoo versus the David Path. Shinra Tensei. Then they clash, and it's similar to when Naruto braced himself. There's so much force behind that it actually is able to counteract it. He doesn't get to Pain, but he's able to hold. There's like, and then Naruto is just preparing another Rasengan, just ready and waiting as soon as the Shinra Tensei ends. As he throws it, as he's basically got the 5 seconds, like, I can't dodge this, and then basically just gets incinerated. And Naruto and Sasuke together beat the 6 paths of Pain. But because he remembered talking to Nagato, and I think that conversation alone is what kind of made him realize, because he remembers that what Jiraiya said, like the real one's not there. He goes to one of the buys, takes the chakra path using Sage Mode, finds where Nagato is, and heads over there. And Sasuke's like, yeah, I'll come with you. He's like, no, I appreciate it. You need to help everyone else here. This is something personal between the master students. And he heads out there, and he still goes. He gets hit in the chest with a gut, but his Fox Chakra also comes in there and just basically forces it out. And ultimately, it's a similar conversation, not quite to the same level, but he still very much believed in what Jiraiya stood for. The fact that peace, he will try to achieve peace no matter what. He will try to live to his master's goal, because that's my ninja way. And Nagato ultimately does give that sacrifice, and I'm thinking on it, and I'm sure Kubo decided to not Kubo's Tite Kubo's Bleach, Kishimoto decided not to do this for the sake of not overpowering Naruto, and for Sasuke, because he was already going to get a Rinnegan at the end anyway, that they didn't give Naruto Nagato's eyes. I am amazed they didn't do that. And because of that, I don't see that happening here either. In certain circumstances, it could happen, but this is not one of those circumstances. Don't worry, get me wrong. I've already thought of, believe it or not, how to do the what if Naruto had the Rinnegan video. That will eventually come, because that's one a lot of people suggest. And it's one I am looking forward to, because then at that point I can just do just about whatever I want with Naruto. Be like, okay, we're going to make Naruto pretty much a god right now, and this is going to be a lot of fun. And the Rinnegan, I always loved the Rinnegan. The Rinnegan's cool. I mean, the Sharingan looks cool, and you get different designs of your Eternals and your Mangekyous. But the Rinnegan, I always just like the simplistic, it's rings, but it's the power and stuff like that. It just looks cool. If someone actually had eyes like that in real life, it would be really cool. I kind of wish I had eyes like that, but no. And I wake up tomorrow and just like, oh my god, I have it. And I have all the powers. Like, what the hell do I do? And I'm like, I'm just going to be a sideshow guy. It's like, anyway, so, yeah, ultimately, like, Kakashi gets revived. Mikoto's happy that her boyfriend's alive. And, her husband, let's be honest, she's going to marry that man. It's like, you were going to marry me. You do not die until you marry me. You son of a bitch. Say, yes, dear. Sakura goes and gives Sasuke a giant hug. And, it's like, don't you ever scare me like that again. And, Sasuke's like, yeah, I'm sorry. He chuckles like, damn it, why do I love you so much? And Naruto's smiling. He's kind of the village hero like he was. Granted, it's still very nice. It doesn't have the same impact as it did in the original because, again, he had family and friends that cared about him. Not all the villagers hated him in this version. Still, though, that is where we ended off with the Pein fight coming to an end, basically as it did originally. Like I said, we are now hitting the golden years of this What If. Probably 2 more, 3 at the most. I would say more likely we'll get it done in 2 because now we're going to pretty much breeze through a lot of the 4th Shinobi War arc, but we're probably not going to breeze through it all in one video. Well, actually, and I say that a lot, we might very well breeze through most of it. I don't know. We'll see you next week, honestly. Either way, I mean, I'll set it up. I always write out my schedule for the videos for the following week, so I'll set it up when I set it up. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win Star Wars Super Magic. What if anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. Hit that bell if you want notifications. I'll see you folks next time.